We have Jacqueline Riley join us. She's out of town on work, so she's going to be coming in on Zoom. And Roger Humphrey had surgery. Everything went well, and he's going to be joining us on Zoom tonight. So that's the reason two of the magistrates aren't present in the room. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We've got Roger Humphrey who's going to give us the invocation.
Let us pray. Our most gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you for this great day that you have given us and this evening where we can come together and discuss the issues that are facing us here in the county. We ask that you be with us as we make decisions that affect the county and all the people of the county, and that we make wise decisions for everyone. We ask these things in your name, Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Chairs, if I can have you call roll.
Magistrate Humphrey.
Present.
Magistrate Riley.
Present.
Magistrate Coldine.
Present.
And Judge Executive Chuck Dills.
Present. Moving down to item 5, approval of the regular meeting minutes on November 16, 2021, and the special minutes from December 1st, 2021.
Having read the regular minutes of November 16th and the special meeting minutes of December 1st, 2021, I make a motion that we approve as presented.
I will second.
I have a motion
Here we
made
go.
by Magistrate Codarn, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Here's all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to fiscal matters, approval of claims drawn on the general fund, the road fund, jail fund, along with transfers presented dated December 7th, 2021.
I'll make a motion this evening to approve the claims presented against the general fund, road fund, jail fund, and the general fund, along with the transfers as presented, dated December 7th.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by saying aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item B, approval of the items transferred from the ARPA reserve transfer line item complete to premium pay for essential workers.
I make a motion to approve the line item transfers from ARPA reserve for transfers line item to complete premium pay for essential employees.
Jacqueline, we could not hear you.
I apologize. Thank you. I will second that motion, please.
Okay, I have a motion made by Magistrate Codarn, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Appears all in favor, motion carries. We have several reappointments that's come up. It's this time of year, at the end of the year, where several of them expire. Our first ones is going to be with the 109 Board. Our first reappointment is David Smith to the 109 Board effective January 1st, 2022, with his term ending 12/31 of 2026. Need a motion to approve the appointments.
I make a motion to reappoint David Schmidt to the 109 Board effective January the 1st, 2022 through 12/31/2026.
Second.
I will.
Have a motion made by Magistrate Codarn, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by saying aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
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 Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item D, reappointment of Kim Martin to the 109 Board effective January 1st, 2022, ending date 12/31 of 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of Kim Martin to the 109 Board effective 1/1 of 2022, effective date and ending date of 12/31/2026.
I
I will
second.
second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, a second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
It appears
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item E, this is going to be a reappointment of Ann Green to the Ethics Commission effective January 1st, 2022, ending date 12/31 of 2024.
I make a motion.
To reappoint Ann Green to the Ethics Commission with an effective date of January 1st, 2022, with an end date of that term of December 31st of 2024.
I second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
It appears
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries. Our next one's going to be moving down to the Health Department. A reappointment of Patty Poor to the Northern Kentucky Health Department effective 1/1/2022 to 12/31/2023. And let me make a correction on hers. That should have said the Grant County Local Health Board, and that's the way the others, and I'll make that correction after the meeting.
I make a motion to reappoint Patty Poor to the Grant County Local Health Board effective January the 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Magistrate Codar, and second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by saying aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, all in favor. Moving down to item G, appointment of Dr. Adam Rich to the Grant County Local Health Board effective January 1st, 2022, ending date of 12/31 of 23.
I make a motion to appoint Dr. Adam Rich to the Grant County Health Board with the term starting January 1st of 22, ending December 31st of 23.
I second.
Motion made by Magistrate Riley, second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item H, appointment of Amanda Noronjo to the Grant County Local Health Board effective January 1st, 2022, ending date of 12/31 of 23.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Amanda Naranjo to the Grant County Local Health Board effective 1/1/2022 through 12/31 of 2023.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to abstain from that
Okay.
nomination.
It'd be 3 votes and 1 abstain. Moving down to reappointment of Dr. Ford Therical to the Grant County Local Board of Health effective January 1st, 2022, ending 12/31 of 2023.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Dr. Ford Threckle to the Grant County Local Health Board effective 1/1 of 2022 and ending on 12/31 of 2023.
I second.
I will.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, a second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by saying aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
It appears
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item J, appointment of Dr. Troy Ashcraft to the Grant County Local Board of Health effective January 1st, 2022, ending date of 12/31/2023.
I'll make a motion to appoint Dr. Troy Ashcraft to the Grant County Local Health Board effective 1/1 of 2022 through 12/31 of 2023.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
It appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item K, appointment of Dr. Sandra Utter to the Northern Kentucky Health Department effective January 1st, 2022, ending date of 12/31 of 2023.
That's the Grant County theirs, that should be, that's okay.
Make that correction
That's okay.
also. Grant County Local Health Board.
Got it.
Make a
I make a
motion.
motion. Go ahead, Shauna.
That's okay. I make a motion to appoint Dr. Sandra Utter to the Grant County Local Health Board effective January 1, 2022 through December the 31st, 2023.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Kodar and a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands.
Aye.
It appears all in favor, motion carries. We'll now move down to 7 old business. We don't have any old business to report tonight. So that takes us down to 8 new business. And I just want to take a minute before I recognize these individuals we have listed here. We have Mike Walters and his wife BJ is present with us tonight. And I can't say enough about what Mike has done for the Grant County Park as far as the amphitheater and the drawings. And if anybody hasn't been to the Grant County Park to see the amphitheater, it's the Martha Blaine Amphitheater. He has completely changed it. It's never looked that nice when it was built new. So I want to thank Mike. Also, we have presence with it in the room is Napoleon Wolf Steele. They also volunteered their time, and I'm going to have Carrie speak on this in a few minutes before I present them with a few things. But Napoleon, if everyone's not familiar with it, they're located in Crittenden. Wolf Steele, they've been here for a number of years, and they really reach out and put a lot into the community with volunteer hours. And Carrie may add to some of the things I know personally, because I've been down at the park when a lot of these projects has been going on. They've helped with rebuilding of the dugouts past years. They've helped, one of the main things, the amphitheater that Mike Walters had put all his artistic skills in on it. They rebuilt the hand railings after we put in new ramps for handicap accessibility. And they've also helped put in playground sets. I stopped down and they were working the concrete mixer and setting the playground set. And, you know, it's just a blessing that we have you all here in Grant County, and that your all's company will allow you all during work hours to come out and help the community. So with that being said, Carrie, could you come up to the podium and introduce who we have present with us in the room today?
Judge Steele, too, in addition to Mike Walters' recognition, him and his wife, BJ, were very instrumental in getting our disc golf up and going, too. And people really, it's really taken off, and there's a lot of people using that. So, you know, thank you for that also.
And I can't believe I left out the disc golf. Yes, there was a lot of hours put into the planning for the disc golf, and I've told them numerous times how appreciative that, you know, they came to us on wanting that for the county and at the park, and it's been a great success. And we have cameras all over the park, and there's really not a time that I don't see somebody out there playing disc golf. And I mean, even when the snowstorms, and it amazes me when I'm looking at the cameras during the daytime and I see somebody walking out in the field and realize what they were doing in the snow, that they're out there playing disc golf. So it's been a great asset to our park. So thank you all for that. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do is, Mike and BJ, if both of you all could come up. And I'll read this. We have a plaque, and it's present with grateful appreciation to Michael Walters for selfless community service to the Grant County Parks Department and the city and the citizens of Grant County.
and I'm sure you guys are taking a photo, so as you're doing that, Mike, I just wanted to extend a personal, sincere appreciation of gratitude for the role that you continue to play in our community, and I apologize for not being there in person tonight to recognize the service that you continue to provide.
Thank you. And thank both of you.
Yes, thank
Thanks.
you, Jack.
Okay, Terry, now if you'll introduce and have our partners with Wolf Steel, the podium come up.
Well, let me add to Mike and BJ real quick.
Okay.
I've actually known them for quite some time, so it was a real pleasure to get to come in and know Mike had already been kind of in a planning process for our stage. And then when I handed him what I envisioned, he said, let's do it. He drew it up, finished it, and came up and put it in paint, and I couldn't be happier with it. So it was a real treat for me to get to work with him. So thank you, Mike. And then Paul, if you would come up and bring who you brought with you, that would be great. So while they come up, as far as Napoleon goes, I had just reached out to them and got connected to Paul and asked for a donation, and all of a sudden I made a new friend who said, well, what else can we do? How else can we help? And then Chuck took all of the words from me, so he's already told you a lot about what they've done, and I hope we're going to do some more stuff in the future together. But Paul, would you mind to say who you brought with you?
Sure. Yeah, I brought Angie Gibson with us. She's our human resource manager. Carlos Alfonso, he's our shift supervisor, and Jamie West, who's in our maintenance department. Carlos and Jamie headed up some of the projects that we did. Carlos with the dugouts, and Jamie with the amphitheater. He was the guy cutting all the things on the laser. So they were very creative. They brought the creativity.
And Angie came and hung out the park with us. It was great. So, all right, come on up, guys.
This is same thing, presented with grateful appreciation to Napoleon, Wolf Steel USA, LLC, with selfless community service to the Grant County Parks Department and the citizens of Grant County. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and the ones that are not here, for all the work you've done for the county.
Thank you, Paul, Carlos, Jamie.
All right. Now, hold on.
Thank you all. If y'all don't mind, let's give both the Walters and also Wolf Steel another hand here for appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you all again.
Carlos and Jamie, thank you.
Moving down to item 9, reports. We have the coroner's report that you all have with you, also the treasurer's report, the animal shelter's report. Everyone had a chance to look at it. We also have the road supervisor's report. Anything, we have Steve with us in the audience, the road supervisor. Anything new that you need to report on, Steve? I think everything's in his report, and I know that the committees meet, and there's not a whole lot discussed in the meetings because of the committee meetings. It's brought up on all the road conditions. As you know, we've got, I think, a total of about 6 roads paved this last few weeks, so a lot's been done. We were getting done before the weather changed, so come spring, we'll start repaving again on some of these roads. Moving down to the sheriff's report, we have Sergeant Mike Wright with us.
How you doing? We've, for the month of November, we've responded to 874 calls for service. We've worked 32 collisions, with 2 of those being injury. We've written 60 citations with a total of 97 charges for the total. Let's see, 12 criminal citations with 22 charges. Juvenile citations, we had 3 with 4 charges. We've served 24 warrants, made 39 arrests with 63 charges among those. We started 111 papers and completed 201 auto inspections.
Sounds like another month you're busy.
Every month.
Well, I appreciate the reporting the report to us. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Next, we have, actually, I skipped the jailer. We'll go back to Mike Webster, our jailer. He's here with us.
Good evening. Tonight we have 216 folks at our facility. 176 of them are state and 40 are county. We have 5 additional males that we're due to pick up here in transit in the next few days.
Okay.
We're continuing to do trash pickup and looking forward to snow removal. Thank you.
We have any graduations coming up?
We just had a pretty big graduation. The end of the month, we'll have another graduation with the SAP program and SOAR.
Well, good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mike.
Moving down to judge report, I don't have anything to report on at this meeting. We'll go down to the magistrates. Magistrate Humphrey, anything you need to report on at this meeting?
No, everything's been peaceful down here in District 3. I was laid up a little bit here just before the day before Thanksgiving. I had total hip replacement. That's why I'm out. I'm progressing along very well. Had a doctor's follow-up meeting today, and everything looks great. And I'll be back on the road again soon.
Okay. Well, good deal. Good to see you on the monitor.
Absolutely. Good to be here.
Yeah. Jacqueline?
Nothing urgent to report this evening, sir.
Okay. Shauna?
Just been driving the roads quite a bit and reporting potholes and such to Steve. Also, we're still getting signs stolen as soon as we put them up in District 2. Also, I've been receiving, quite a number of concerns regarding the trains being stopped down on US 25 and Crittenden at 491 and Sherman Newtown. And we did start a Sherman Railroad update group chat. And when people go by now, if they see the train stop, they'll put notes in there. And it's helped at least notifying people you need to go a different route or something to get where you need to go. And, I think it's running real successful that way until we can talk to Norfolk and see what kind of resolution they can come up with. Other than that, that's it.
Okay. And just to report on that we have some upcoming meetings with Norfolk Southern Railroad on those discussions.
Oh, another thing, I'd like to remark on what a success the Christmas event that we had, the Christmas parade on Saturday evening and the lighting of the tree. We had a really, really good crowd for that, and we were real pleased.
Donna, I agree, just to echo what the Chamber of Commerce and the tourism did with that event. In my opinion, it probably was the most successful one that this community's had yet. And it was a great evening, very fun.
Thank you. Takes us down to number 10, citizens address. Now, David Rose had emailed us some things, and he had wanted to discuss with the courts on some concerns he's had in the past and some other issues. Yes. Yes. Come on up to the podium, Richard. Is that Mike? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to follow up, Chuck, we had submitted a resolution declaring Grant County, Kentucky a Fourth Amendment sanctuary county, and wanted to find out where that stood.
Okay. We're reviewing it, and as I talked to you before, a lot of that is a legislation issue with our legislators, not at a local level for the county officials.
Okay.
Those are concerns and issues our legislators need to work on. I believe, is that the same response I have from the other magistrates?
Yeah.
I have some words to say to go
Okay.
along with it, and we had attempted to copy the 2A resolution in a similar manner, and also 2A is similar in it's a legislative body that takes care of that, but you had seen fit to pass that resolution declaring that, and we recommended that this could also happen. So I got just a few words to say to it, if you would allow me.
And the Second Amendment was based off of the sheriff's authority, is what the county's support was with the sheriff.
Okay.
Of his enforcement as the chief law enforcement officer supporting the Second Amendment.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So good evening. My name is Richard Hayo. My wife Tammy and I not only live here in Grant County, but we own and operate a restaurant that serves our community, and we love it here. It's a good county. It's full of potential for its residents and business owners, but that potential is being destroyed. It's being destroyed by federal and state officials whose interests are far divorced from the well-being of Grant County. They have mandated medical and health measures on the ground it will save lives. However, in doing so, they have not only undermined our personal freedom, but have caused undue hardship on local businesses. Personal freedom is central to the logic of the Declaration of Independence, which says, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life and liberty were bundled together by our founders because they are by nature intertwined. Those lacking basic liberties are slaves, and slaves aren't living their lives, but rather lives of their masters, and Americans aren't slaves. And yet those from far away think they can close down our businesses. This is an attack not only on liberty, but life. Our businesses, for owners and employees, are a source of livelihood. It's how we take care of ourselves and our families and our community. We are freemen, not slaves, and our officials are representatives, not masters. That's why we are asking you to adopt this resolution to declare that Grant County is a Fourth Amendment sanctuary county. The Fourth Amendment to the Constitution includes the right to medical privacy and freedom, and it guarantees that Americans have the right to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. This resolution not only protects private citizens, but also protects law officers, like Mike, from being weaponized against the community they love and serve by politically motivated individuals far divorced from local and more pressing concerns. We know that most police officers, sheriffs, resent being used as puppets by politicians to bully people that don't fall in with their pet issues. Most law officers and local government officials truly want to protect and serve their communities, and we know they are sick of being used. They aren't enemies, they're our neighbors. It's time to reinstate what was once taken for granted. Grant County is resolved to uphold the Fourth Amendment. This county will protect the rights of the citizens. This county will protect the rights of business owners. This county will protect the right to life and liberty. It will be a sanctuary which welcomes freedom-loving people who know they'll be protected if they start a business and put down roots in this county. It will be a county full of self-reliant freemen who take responsibility for their own health, well-being, and livelihood. It's time that Grant County reaffirms the limits of government. It may be that there are some men who, without stated limits, won't cross the lines into the abuse of authority, but we've seen that there are plenty who will. By declaring what power you have and don't have, you protect your community from those sorts of men. So please do what is right for your neighbors. Honor God. Honor God. It is He who grants us rights, not government officials. Their privilege is to serve Him by protecting those rights. Thank you.
And I think, and I'm going to speak for myself, not the other magistrates, I believe in small government. I don't believe that government should tell people what to do. So with that being said, as we talked before, our legislators make these laws.
Yes.
And it's forced our law enforcement to enforce them because they support the Constitution, and the Constitution is supported by our legislators who create the laws that we have to enforce.
Yes.
Not only do they have to enforce it, but our county attorney has to enforce it.
Yes.
And if there was anything we could do to stop the mandates against us from being fined $15,000 to $20,000 for somebody not being vaccinated, if this passes, I'd love to do something. But our hands are tied at this level. All we can do as local representatives is speak to our state and federal representatives with the way we feel about it. So that's the way we do it. A sanctuary county means nothing here. I think that all of us expresses our concerns to our legislators, and that's where the laws are made.
Thank you. Can we adjust that to then reaffirm a proclamation of the Fourth Amendment in this county?
Yeah, I support all amendments of the Constitution. I know reading the letter, it was for us to encourage businesses not to do the vaccine. That's absolutely against totally. I don't want to encourage anyone to do what they want to do.
Right.
When it comes
Against
to
their
their
will.
health.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was one of my concerns that was in the draft, of us encouraging people to do something, because I have no intention to encouraging someone to get the vaccine or not get the vaccine. That's up to them.
To let them make a choice.
Absolutely.
Right. So is that something that you are willing to proclaim, that, or and
That's
add to a
something I can
resolution?
get out to the magistrates for. I think individually, we speak individually, that there's nothing solid that the court has other than us individually speaking our concerns, and I think everyone stands the same way, that less government dictating to the businesses what they should or shouldn't do, or, other than to the government, and that's what we do individually.
Yes. So is that, is there a way then to further this if it has very little, little impact, but it does embolden investors like myself to continue to want to invest and want to grow and want to, speak to the benefits of Grant County, that, hey, these guys have our back?
Well, I think I've spoken on a public meeting that's recorded where I stand.
Yeah, and we love that, Judge, and appreciate it, and you know that there are elections, and your tenure is not forever, and
Right.
regardless of, and other men may not have that, and I don't know of the depth of the of this kind of resolution or things like that, but the more people you gather around you that believe and think the same way at this time, the more likelihood and strength of the community to proceed further and to have people like this in the community that think the same way as you, and we appreciate how you do that. So I don't know how to go further on it, and I think what I'm understanding is that unless the magistrates decide to push it forward or have any questions, that
Does anyone have any questions for Richard at this time?
No, I don't have any.
I don't. I think the questions have been asked and the questions have been answered. I think as citizens of the United States of America, we are covered, we are protected. Our rights will not be infringed upon, and each individual has a right to do as they please in this situation. If they choose to get the vaccine, fine. If they choose not to get the vaccine, fine. I'm right here beside Judge Dills on this. This needs to be addressed at a legislative issue, not at the fiscal court level.
I hear that.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I know they're like-minded thinkings of the same thing. I mean, we want less government interfering with the public's health.
Right.
So, and I think by us feeling that way, we're doing what we can do at our level, is go to our state and federal representatives that we have and voice our concerns. I try to keep everything at a fiscal court matters that pertains to the local county government without reaching into the arena with the federal and state level in this arena. Now, what we do individually in our positions, I think, is what you're asking for.
Yeah, do you have the ability to say, here is where we stand?
Yes.
And is that something that can be pushed forward, or is that just something that is ethereal?
As far as I'm not following you on push.
So is that just your position of where you are and that gets communicated, or can there be like a document stating that? It's just
See, that's the thing. I don't know that the document from the court itself means as much as individually
right.
us expressing those concerns.
For sure.
And we do. It's not just Fourth Amendment. I mean, and not that this is very important, but we do the same thing with everything else that has to do with affects this county. If it's the road tax, any of that, we expressed to our legislators our concerns for the funds coming in to support our roadways and things like that we do, individually with our legislators.
Yes. Well, thank you for hearing, and thank you for reviewing and considering that proclamation resolution. And if there's more or something else we can do to help further or back you up in any of those issues, we'd be happy to.
Well, I appreciate it. And it's great working with you, Richard.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, magistrates.
Is anyone else before David Rose need to speak to the court? David, the floor is yours. It was on and went off.
Before I start up, I'd just like to thank Richard for bringing that up. And I'd also like to say, I don't like the word resolution. And I understand you did one for the 2A. And I don't agree with the word resolution. It should be proclamation. It should be our reaffirmation of the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, which we have sworn an oath to uphold and protect. And this is not only the Fourth Amendment, it's a 10th Amendment also on this, states' rights. And I think if the court would proclaim that and get a hold of Savannah Maddox and have her present that to our legislators, I think we need to make an issue of it. It is unacceptable to force people to mandate an experimental chemical, period. Anyway, that's my thought. It's always nice to have props for show and tell. So I brought a prop tonight.
What did you bring? Did you bring a trash can in there?
Yeah.
It is not,
Did he?
Magistrate, it is not a trash can. It's a refuse container. It's a refuse container. Let's get with the proper terminology. And this one I call Little Blue. It's a 32-gallon one. And I sent the court a letter, emailed a letter, and a PowerPoint with some good pictures, which beat 10,000 words, and also a little historical email that I'm going to read a little bit on tonight. But my purpose for being here, and I don't think it's unique just with me or us, but what happened, I lost one of these containers. We have our trash pickup on Fridays, Friday morning, early Friday morning. So this happened about 4 to 6 weeks ago. I can't remember the exact date, but I took the trash up on Thursday evening. And when I went up there Friday afternoon to pick up the mail and retrieve the trash receptacle, it wasn't there. Gone with the wind. And I figured that somebody didn't steal it. I figured it got eaten by the trash truck. So I waited till Monday, and when I went up to get the mail, the refuse can was still not there. So I get my bill out, and I look up Republic's phone number, and I think they're out of Louisville is where I end up, and I talked to this lady. I called this lady down there and reported it, and she was very sympathetic, and she says, well, I don't take care of that, the replacement, but I'll switch you over to somebody. So she switched me over to this other lady. So I talked to this lady, and I was very emphatic to her about this particular refuse container, in that we live a quarter mile off the main road. We're not on the main road. The 96-gallon, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute too, the 96-gallon is something that Republic CSI put out years ago, 2014, matter of fact, September of 2014. So I needed another 32-gallon container is what I needed, a refuse container. I wanted that replaced. And I told her why, and I said I cannot handle a 96-gallon or a smaller one. It's got to be a 32 because I don't have a pickup truck anymore, and I couldn't even put a 96 in my truck anyhow. But I've got a RAV, and we're a quarter mile off the road, and I have to put it in that to take it up to the road. And it's got to be a 32. So she said, okay, we'll have it there the next trash day, the following week. So, I waited, and meanwhile I used this other one that I had. We had two. So I wait a week, and I go up to get this one, and I see this 96-gallon that looked new, but it wasn't up with the others. It was back a little bit. So I left it there. I thought it was a neighbor's. So I waited another week or so, and still nothing. So then I looked in my old emails, and because this happened back in 2014, and I think I called Republic again and talked to another guy down there, and he said, well, we don't have 32 gallons anymore. We have 96 gallons. And he said they probably took your 32 because they don't want to deal with it. And that's what Republic told me. So I looked at my emails, and I found Brian Miles, corresponding with him back in 2014, who's our solid waste coordinator, and he's got so many names after his name, I can't remember what they all are. He's got so many different hats. But anyway, I called Brian, and Brian said, well, you should have called me. And I said, well, hey, So he said, I'll tell you what, let me look into it and see what I can do. So I said, okay. So the only thing he came up with was a 45-gallon one. And he said, I'll get that, I'll have it delivered and make sure you get it. And I said, okay. And I had no idea the difference in size between the 32 and the 45. So the 45 came the next week. I mean, he's a good man. So I got the 45, and normally it's just my wife and I, and our week's worth of trash will go in a 32 every week. Maybe every sixth week we might end up with more, and I'd have to put two of these out, and I can still load two of these 32s laying down in my SUV in the RAV. So I got this 45 out and used it the week before last. And it's very cumbersome, and I don't like it, and like I told you in the letter I sent to you, it's unacceptable. I mean, I want to return it. So that's where we're at right now. I've got this 32 that I've been using, and so I want to go back in time a little bit. September of 2014, Republic went to what I call a pick-and-place refuse container pickup. And what they basically did was they took all the strain and all the whatever wherewithal off their drivers and their operators, lifting and all that kind of stuff, and all the injuries, the job-related injuries, and they stuck it on us, the customer, instead. And then when they came out, at first, they came out with a 96-gallon container. Everybody in the county, regardless of where you lived, got a 96-gallon container. And the 96-gallon container is fine if you live in the city or you live up on the main road and you've only got a 60-foot from your garage, say, to the road to deposit it. No big deal. Even a little old lady can do that. But there's a lot of us out in the county that don't live on the main road that have to get that big container up there. Or, what I don't like, they leave it up there. And I think when you see these laying around, and on the PowerPoint I showed you, after they pick up the trash, after they pick it up and empty it and they put it back down, it's not lined up like little soldiers, like we have to have them so they can pick them up. They're just dumped. And I just don't like that look. And some people just leave them on the road, up by the side of the road all the time. And I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. If I can't get another 32 or something happens to this one, I'm going to get a 96 and I'm going to leave it up there. And every day I go up to get the mail, I just have to take trash with me and dump it in there and leave it up there. I don't want to do that. But anyway, this correspondence that Brian gave back on September 19th on 2014, and I'll read this paragraph on here. The county did recognize that the regular refuse container that is 96 gallons in capacity could cause some problems for residents who were elderly or for some other reason just couldn't physically handle a container of that size. To assist those residents, the county directed Republic to have smaller cans available by request for the residents. There are two options for you to choose from depending upon the severity of your physical limitations: a 65-gallon or a 35, and I think that's a typo. It was really a 32-gallon container. Please let me know what size container you would prefer and include your address, and I will have CSI deliver it to you next week. Well, he lived up to his word. I traded that 96, got two of these 32s, and I've been fat, dumb, and happy for 7 years, except for when it rains or snows and they just leave the lids flipped open on them and there's no holes, drain holes in the bottom of any of them to let the water out. We, the customer, have to deal with all that nonsense. But anyway, so I'm requesting that the court look into this through Brian and whatever and ask Republic where the smaller containers are. Why can't we get a 32-gallon container?
I've asked Brian Miles to be present to answer those questions. Brian, you want to come up and...
Back when all this was taking place, we did we've had Republic Services for garbage collection contracts since 2000, and the 96-gallon toters have been in use since then, and just as industry standard. When we did the new contract, a couple people called in. Mr. Rose called in, a couple other folks who had limitations of some sort or another. So as the email to Mr. Rose states, we contacted Republic, talked to them, said, hey, is there anything we can do to help these folks out? And they said, yeah, we've got some smaller cans and we can trade them out. And we have. Everybody who has called and asked for one has gotten a smaller can. Problem we have now is these 32s, 35s in the email, but the 32s, these originally were a recycle can for another municipality. They were never actually intended to be garbage cans. Republic ordered in some lids because the lid color is whether it's a garbage can or a receptacle or a recycling receptacle. Republic ordered in some lids, switched them out, and utilized them in the cases where people wanted smaller cans. Problem now is all those cans are gone. All the 32s are gone. When I got the email from Mr. Rose last night, I immediately contacted Johnny Patterson, who's our CSI rep here in the county. He immediately started looking. This was like 8 o'clock last night. He starts looking for any 32s out there, see if there's anything available. I talked to him shortly after lunch today, and he has spoken to every Republic facility in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and there are no 32s to be had anywhere. So the 45 at this point in time is the smallest can that is available. Now we have to look at it and be reasonable. We probably only have, and I asked Johnny this question, we probably only have about 20, maybe 25 stops utilizing a can other than the 96. And Republic is not going to order a tractor trailer load of 32-gallon containers for 20 or 25 people. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not available. The 45 is the best that can be done at this point in time.
Well, I tried the 45, and I just don't feel, I mean, I'm not going to put up with that aggravation. It is cumbersome to handle just empty, trying to lift it up and put it in. And some people say, well, just take the tractor. No, I'm not going to do that because it's raining, it's snowing, and I'm not doing any of that stuff where this works. My problem is, well, when I view this, I'm the customer. We had a 12-year contract with them. They extended it to 20 years. I think it's a 20-year contract now. Where's the competition? I was perfectly happy with Bavarian before we even got mandated. I mean, this is not an elective that in the county. We're mandated for trash pickup by these people. And I think we need to push back on them. And when this happened 7 years ago, there weren't that many people that even knew there was different sizes of containers. We give you a 96, okay, hey, But I don't think it was really published, and it hasn't been published, that there were 2 other different sizes.
It's because it's not in the contract. We can't sit back and take a situation where Republic has offered to help people, make adjustments to help people. We can't take a goodwill offer like that and turn it into a required contract item. And the only thing that's in the contract is the 96 gallon. Anything other than that the Republic does for us, it's just out of their goodness and trying to service the customers. They're trying to do the best they can. I can reassure everybody that anybody who has ever called in,
Oh, I know.
and said that there was an issue or problem, we've done everything we could to help them out.
Well, I guess if that's it, as soon as this thing disappears, I'm going to be calling you and asking for a 96, and I'm going to leave it up on the road. And as unsightly and as much as I hate to see that anywhere in the county, you drive through the county after trash day and look at those, and you drive through, 1 or 2 days after. Some of them are still laying out there in any kind of fashion. It doesn't make any difference. And to me, it makes the county look trashy, but that's me.
I got a question, Brian. Will Republic, if you bought your own 32-gallon, will Republic
Well,
use?
here's the issue with that.
Yeah,
All of the routes in Grant County now are the automated trucks.
right. Mhm.
Okay, they all have the grabber on
Mhm.
It sounds strange, but it's just the way the arm works. It comes and it grabs this can. Anything smaller than this 32, it's not going to pick it up. They'll get it halfway up, and it'll drop out and spill, and we'll have garbage and trash everywhere. It was a challenge for them, because you see how the can, it's not really square, it's more oblong.
Yeah.
If they try to pick the can up this way with the arm, it's going to drop out. They're going one way to pick that can up, and it's in this orientation, so they get enough pressure on the arms on cans to dump it. Now, what can happen is, and we already have had this occur, people who've had their own personal cans, the arm grabs it wrong, the can gets cracked, crushed, the lid comes off,
Liability.
something like that, and people are just going crazy. that was my can, they destroyed my can, they held me a can. You know, it just really gets ugly when that happens. With Republic being the owner of all the cans, they're responsible for them.
And this can here, by the way, like the other one, due to their handling, broke the shaft that went through here, a plastic shaft. So that renders it useless. Well, I took conduit, a piece of steel conduit, and repaired both of these, so there isn't that issue, you know, just to be able to keep that.
That looks like a nice repair. I'm sure they have hundreds more out there if you'd like to start repairing toters for them.
Hey, I can do that. I don't have a problem. It just is, you know, it's frustrating that it takes two parties to come up with a contract, and I don't like one-sided contracts. And to me, it's a one-sided contract, and then we give them the liberty of no competition, and it's a 20-year one. And I don't have anything against them other than their people do not respect these cans or us as customers because they don't put them down the same way they picked them up. They junk them.
David, I can tell you that every time an extension comes up on a contract, I contact every garbage provider in our region, and I get a quote from them. And it's really crazy when you look. We have roads down the southern part of the county, down in Jacqueline's district, where the first 15 homes on the road are in Grant County, the rest of it's in Scott County, or it's over in Owen County, you know, split road. The Grant County residents pay approximately $11 a month. The very next house, picked up by the exact same truck, is paying $35 a month. Plus, they're paying a 109 tax. Well, I'm sorry, it's not a 109 tax. They're paying a solid waste tax to the county on top of that. So basically what I'm saying is I check these prices every time there was a contract extension, and it's not even close. We're talking $20, $30 a month difference. And well, Bavarian doesn't do residential anymore, but they have Bestway Disposal, who they sold their outfit to. I checked with Bestway, I checked with Rumpke when Central Kentucky was operating, I checked with them, and nobody's even close on price. That's why this contract has continued on through the extensions that it has.
Hey, we're stuck. Well, I just end up having to get a 96, unless they got some of these with broken lids, and I can fix them.
He doesn't have any.
Okay.
He said he has one out the landfill, but it's filled with salt, and he can't let that do it.
David, I was getting ready to touch on that issue about the price that we pay. I mean, we're not stuck. We can go with another provider, but it's going to cost the citizens of Grant County a lot more money.
Well, if you continue to mandate trash removal, that every citizen have to do it. You know, we did it when we moved here on our own volition. We didn't, you know, because we've always done it. Wherever we've lived, we've had trash pickup, and we paid monthly on
And
it.
that's a lot of reason why it's cheaper, because it is mandated where everyone's paying for the service,
Yeah,
which I think,
I was just checking with Fountain County with Barry over there, and Mr. Steele, and through Rumpke right now, they're like $22 a month. Now, Rumpke is the franchise hauler for Fountain County, but Fountain County does not have mandatory trash, so that's why the rate is so much higher, because they have about 30% of their residents who are on the service over there.
and not just to touch on a couple of things, and I'm not here defending Republic on this end. I saw the pictures where your cans, some of those cans were knocked over. That's not real common to see that. I mean, I've never had mine knocked over even in a storm, and as I drive out my road, I never see them laying over. I think a lot of that's because it's on a grass, unlevel surface that could be causing that. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but that's not something common. I see cans thrown everywhere.
Well, that's a good point, but my wife says, well, you could put a platform up there. And I said, yeah, I could, except then that's a state road, and there's a liability issue there, I don't know what the right of way is from center line over, how far over, but, and then the person operating that picking place would have to put it back up on that platform. But I'm telling you, the pictures I sent you, Chuck, you can go by there any Friday after trash pickup, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And I see that on our drive throughout down that way. Now, in the city, it's different. Yeah, they got sidewalks, and it's nice and flat and whatever, but not out in the county. County is rural, and the last parting comment I'll give you all. Everybody likes buying stuff from home. The online buying is really just, the sky's the limit. You could sit there at your desk or your whatever and order from Amazon, and poof, in 3 days it's there to you, and free delivery and all that. Sit down and think about the dunnage, the garbage that comes with that package. You order something like this, and it comes in a cardboard box. You got to deal with that cardboard box, and where's that cardboard box end up?
Our landfills.
The landfill. But how does it get there? I mean, I have to break those down, cut them down, and collapse them to get them in here. But I mean, I don't need a 96-gallon can to put a box full of air in there,
You're fortunate that I use up 296 every week.
Well, you maybe don't break them down either. But
No, I break them down.
Well, again, it's people just don't have a real clear what's going on. It's.
I won't argue that point with you.
I know you won't. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know
anyway,
where all the garbage comes from, but some weeks I could use 3 or 4 of those 96 gallons.
Anyway, I thank the court for their time, and I'll probably end up getting a 96, and like I said, I'll leave it up on the road. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Does anyone else have anything to bring before the court? If not, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I just want to remind everyone our next meeting will be Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 at 6:30 p.m., and that will be done on Zoom. Now, due to this being the end of the year, we may be posting a special meeting sometime next week. I'll get with you, Roger, and Jacqueline on your schedule just to get some claims paid out. And the reason why is we run into this every year in December because of the holidays and the mail service being overloaded with their mail. We're not getting bills paid by the end of the month, so we probably need to do something here the first of next week to just approve some claims to get those paid. So be checking your schedules, maybe Monday, if that would work for you all.
This coming Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I've been released to drive starting the weekend, so.
Well, we'll do this by
Look
Zoom.
out.
It would be just
Yes.
on the claims. Okay, then. With that being said, I'll reach out to you all and confirm something maybe for Monday, and I'll get with Cherish. But I'll need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Coroner, second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by saying aye, raise your hands. Aye.
Aye.
Appears all in favor, motion carries. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming out tonight.